U.S. search.
As you probably remember, the FBI has unveiled a list of what it says are international terrorists. It's willing to pay as much as $5 million for every terrorist turned in. Some of those terrorists may be living in this country, others may be overseas. Tracking a terrorist, as you might imagine, is very tough work. We have two guests with first-hand experience. One is veteran bounty hunter Bob Burton. Burton's book inspired the Robert De Niro movie Midnight Run. He has also consulted on cases, including the hunt for accused abortion clinic bomber Eric Rudolph. Our other guest this morning is a bounty hunter we will call Anthony. We obviously have him in silhouette today for the obvious reasons. We would want to do nothing to compromise his anonymity. They both join us from Tucson, Arizona. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Appreciate your being with us.
Thank you.
All right, Bob, I'd like to start with you this morning. First of all, how many bounty hunters are assigned that are under your direct management to find terrorists in this country?
We have roughly 2,400 agents, of which maybe 20, 25, or 30 are qualified to penetrate this group. They're Arab Americans. They primarily live in the Northeast. They have a full to a partial command of the languages of that area, including Farsi and Arabic, of course. And many of them are working the case actively as we speak. Bear in mind that this is a very tough ethnic group to penetrate.
All right, and given the fact the FBI hasn't been able to get to these guys, what are the chances that your bounty hunters will have any success?
Ironically, we have a very good chance for many reasons. One, the people that live in these communities have fled from police states in many cases. They have a long time resentment, fear of police agencies, ours included. Many times they'll share their feelings with a fellow Arab, albeit a bounty hunter, but they'll share their feelings with a citizen more so than a uniformed officer. Also, there is the incentive of the reward, and they feel they have a better chance of getting a piece of that reward going to a private individual.
Anthony, what is your goal?
My goal basically is the same. I'm doing my job as I do always. It's just in this kind of situation, keeping the national security in this country is my main concern, obviously, because I live here, and I believe that myself and several other people that I'm working with have the ability to capture these people just because of I know and certain other people know how they think, how they talk, what they do from the background experience I have as a native Egyptian.
All right, so Anthony, to help us better understand this morning how you penetrate these communities, do you take on a different identity? Do you change the way you look in any way?
Right. We do everything we can under the law. And remember, the laws for the rules to engage in bounty hunting is different from law enforcement. There are certain things law enforcement officers cannot do, unfortunately, and we have the ability to do. What do I do exactly to catch these people? I'm not going to divulge on national television because I don't want to jeopardize what we are doing. But I can assure you that what we are doing is going to be undetected, unnoticed, and surprising.
And do you have the support of the FBI or police agencies, Anthony, in this work that you're trying to do?
Absolutely. We get the support all the time. I mean, we get the support regardless of the job we do. We help them, they help us when it comes down to bail enforcement or fugitive recovery. It's a team effort. But obviously in this case, there's going to be a much more support than anybody imagines because everybody wants to make sure that they get caught.
Right, and Bob, obviously, we're not going to put you in a position where we're asking you to divulge exactly what these guys are going to do to track down these terrorists. But before we leave you this morning, just give us a much better sense. You talked about how many of these bounty hunters speak the language. They are able to blend in these communities. But give us some more insights as to how they do their work.
Well, many times there's no necessity to penetrate the community. The communities are open. They're willing to talk to a fellow Arab American. Many times these Arab communities have spent, the inhabitants have spent thousands of dollars and dozens of years building up their American legacy. They don't want to have it torn down by these Arab terrorists. They'll approach our agents may approach them, and they'll share information as simple as, you know, there was someone that looked like that photograph in this motel room 2 weeks ago. That little tidbit of information will eventually lead to a trail. It will help law enforcement. It might help us. But it's simply a gathering of data put together in a package that might create a bona fide trail.
And Anthony, I could hear in your voice this morning just how committed you are to what you're doing. How much of a lure was the $5 million reward for each terrorist turned in?
To tell you the truth, it wasn't a lure at all. In this situation itself, I'm not looking at the money aspect at all, because we're talking national security. We're talking about a nation that is jeopardized. And since I live in this nation and I want nothing to happen to anybody close to me or any other fellow citizens, I am doing this without the money in my mind. The first and foremost thing for me is security. The money we can talk about later.
Well, we wish both of you tremendous luck. Anthony and Bob Burton, thanks for your time this morning. It's absolutely fascinating.
Thank you.
Appreciate your joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Time now to talk business. Let's check in.